3. We're about to get underway here at the Vineyard Athletic Center. Union Dutchman against RIT Tigers. Lang will tip off against Aguilera. And we are underway. Thank you for tuning in to UnionAthletics.tv. The jump ball goes to Anthony Lewis, a 6'1" junior from Rochester, one of 3 RIT players from the city of Rochester. Lewis dishes over to Troy Pierre-Louis. Now Anthony Lewis gets it back. Dribbling down, Aguilera gets a falling lay-in to go off the glass as RIT strikes first. Bowden over to Burgess. Burgess guarded by Lewis. Now to Lang. Lang to King. As Weckworth dishes to King. Now back to Burgess. Burgess, the reigning unanimous League Player of the Year. As Weckworth driving gets it to go off the glass. Weckworth, team's super sub, now getting his second start of the year. He started one game during the Sigmakovsky tournament against Williams. Now with a long three-pointer, misses, brought down by Weckworth. Kevin dribbling up, looks behind him, dishes it over to Burgess. Burgess takes a couple dribbles, now bluffs the drive before pulls it back. He's guarded by Anthony Lewis before dishing over to Weckworth. Weckworth bluffs a 3 to Burgess with 15 on the shot clock. As Deshaun drives, kisses off the glass a little bit too strong. Off the rim and brought down by Pierre-Louis. Troy Pierre-Louis driving, looking to get past King. Doesn't quite get to go off the glass, where the rebound goes to Lang. Now Boughton, as Union has 3 seniors, a junior and a sophomore in their starting lineup, as the junior King gets the pass with senior Burgess. Now dishes a little bit past the sophomore Lang, before Deshaun Burgess picks it back up, settles it down, and restarts the offense. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock, as Burgess tries to drive past Lewis. Right-handed kiss to the left side, goes for 2. As Burgess gets his first bucket of the game. Robert Aguilar, freshman big man who leads the league in blocks, started up the offense. As Troy Pierre-Louis has it. And off to Robert Aguilar. Aguilar passes over to Mitch Herman. As the captain gives it back to the freshman Aguilar. Aguilar looking to drive, and the 6'6" big man with speed gets his second field goal of the game. Now Burgess has it in the corner beyond the three-point line, gets it over to Lang. Lang looking to back down Schneider. He draws the foul. Lang doesn't quite go, but Lang will shoot 2 free throws. Brendan Lang, sophomore from Babylon, who started now all 20 games. He's 17 for 20 from the line for 85% free throw ledger. Lang's first shot is good. Union leading 5-4. As Lang started the year 11 for 11 from the charity stripe. Started his career 12 for 12 since he made his only free throw attempt last year. Trying to go 2 for 2 here today. And he does, making them both as the 6'8" sophomore puts Union back on top. Pierre-Louis guarded by Burgess, dishes it over to Herman. Now Aguilar, dribbling behind his back, gets it to go as Aguilar scored all 6 points for RIT. Zach Bowden trying to read a Lang pick. Hands it to King, and a long three-pointer by Weckworth is good as Kevin Weckworth gets a three-pointer, leading to a Union 30-second timeout. As Kevin Weckworth has 5 of Dutchman's first 4 shots, taking this 9-6 lead. A little bit over 3 minutes into this game. 16:45 remaining in the first half. Mitch Herman has it on the near side, flips it back to Anthony Lewis. Union in the zone. Lewis gets another pass. Three-pointer off the front rim, bounce off the back rim, and brought down by Boughton. Boughton pushing the tempo up to Burgess. Burgess looking to drive. Stop. Pass over to King. King keeps it in. Would actually turn out to be a nice pass over to Weckworth, but Weckworth called for the travel. Referee said he left his feet. So a knife save play from King, but couldn't quite keep it clean as RIT back with the ball. Pierre-Louis has in the corner over to Mitch Herman. Herman, 6.7 points per game this year, but only 3.5 in Liberty League play. Pierre-Louis gets it back to Herman. Herman guarded by Burgess, jacks him a three-pointer and still gets it to go. Mitch Herman gets on the board with a very contested three-point shot. As Weckworth looking to drive on Herman, rides the baseline over to Burgess. Now Deshaun Burgess driving through traffic, tries to get a shot up, gets his own rebound. Now with traffic, puts it up, gets called, and will go to the line for two. So Burgess, 2 contested shots, gets fouled on the second. He'll go to the line for the first time today. Is Deshaun Burgess, the senior from Scottsdale, Georgia, averaging a team high 18.7 points per game. 73% free throw shooter. We'll shoot 2 here. Gets the first one to bounce in and then a little bit off the corner. As Wade McNamara, coming off the bench for the first time this year, enters the game along with Matt LaCurry, Spelling, Zach Boughton, and Greg King. Burgess looks to go 1 for 2. And he does. Making the back end, putting Union back ahead, 10-9 lead, 4 minutes, 10 seconds in. Mitch Herman guarded by McNamara. Passes over to Lewis towards the corner. Now Aguilar, who has 6 of RIT's first 9 points, gets it over to Herman, who has the other 3. Herman crosses it over himself. Hands over to Lewis. Lewis stripped by Weckworth as Kevin Weckworth gets a steal. Pushing it up court. Looking to go coast to coast. But it's blocked by Schneider as Justin Schneider taps it over to Mitch Herman. As RIT has 5 on 4. And drawing the foul is Troy Pierre-Louis. So a coast-to-coast attempt by Weckworth gets blocked by RIT's sophomore center, Schneider. As Matt LaCurry gets called for the foul. Shooting 2 will be Pierre-Louis. Lewis averaging 12.7 points per game, but almost 14 in conference. He's an 86% free throw shooter and gets the first one here. Last February, in the regular season finale, he scored 16 points against Union on 7 for 9 from the field. This year, he's almost doubled his scoring average. Just to take under 7 points per game last year. This game tied at 10. Pierre-Louis from Providence, Rhode Island, gets both, putting RIT on top, 11-10, Tigers lead. So Weckworth, guarded by Will Atkinson, into the game, making only his 11th appearance. As Burgess now has it, guarded by Herman. Burgess sizes it up, goes under the basket, but steps out of bounds. So the turnover will give RIT the chance to extend their 1-point lead. Exactly 5 minutes into this game. Pierre-Louis dishes over to Herman. Now it's Wyatt Smith into the contest. Smith over to Aguilar, and now Pierre-Louis has it, trying to drive around Weckworth. He gets to the hole and kisses it off the glass, extending this RIT advantage to 3. As Kevin McNoble about to check in for Union, pull-up jumper from Kevin Weckworth off the front rim, rebounded by Herman. And both referees on the far side missed the play, asked with each other. And they originally said RIT ball, just out of confusion, but it looked like somehow they disagreed with themselves, and now with possession is Union. You never know what happens in the referee world. That's why I like talking about it. As Brendan Lang gets the ball from McNamara, now McNoble has it up top. Union's top reserve on the backcourt. So now McNamara with a 3-point shot is good. Because when your leading rebounder comes off the bench, adding 3-point range, it adds a lot to your offense. As McNamara ties up the game. Union even at 13. Aguilar, guarded by Lang in the post, looking to drive, gets it off the glass, but a little too strong, brought down by Herman. Herman, behind the basket, throws it right in the hands of McNamara, who tips it over to Lang. 13-13 game, as McNoble has McNamara. McNamara bluffs a long three-pointer, drives, draws the foul, as Wade McNamara will shoot 2 free throws. McNamara, a career season, leads the Liberty League in rebounding. No one in the Liberty League actually averages 1.5 rebounds near McNamara's total of 9.9. Just under 10 in conference. He's averaging 10.5 boards per game. And the 83% free throw shooter hits his first free throw as King returns to the game, replacing Lang. 4 games. Now with this, the three-pointer he hit a couple minutes prior has three-pointer in 19 of his 20 appearances. So he goes 2 for 2 from the line, fresh off the timeout. 15-13 Union lead. McNoble pressuring Anthony Lewis. Actually, it was Troy Pierre-Louis. Getting the ball is Will Atkinson. Now driving Wyatt Smith with his back to the basket. Gets it over to Aguilera. Now Pierre-Louis with 12 on the shot clock. Over to Marcel Davis. Aguilera has it back. Hands it over to Smith. Wyatt Smith off the glass. Rebounded by McNamara. Pull-up jumper from Burgess. Tipped and brought down by Burgess, who gets over to McNamara. Wide open 3. A little too strong. Another tip leads to a rebound by McNoble, who passes it over to McNamara. McNamara trying to get a little too fine with the pass. Tipped out of bounds. Inbounding it is McNoble. Almost used all 5 seconds, but gets it far beyond to King. Over to LaCourie, who slows it down. At LaCourie to Burgess, to McNamara, back to Deshaun Burgess. As Union around the perimeter gets it to McNoble. McNoble crosses towards center, hands it over to Burgess. Deshaun's long 3, off the front rim. Tipping it was McNamara, but bringing it down, Wyatt Smith. Smith dishes over to Pierre-Louis, who finds the freshman Atkinson. Now with it, Wyatt Smith, junior from Rochester. Over to Pierre-Louis, his long 3, halfway in, out, and over-the-top foul called on RIT's Marcel Davis over Matt LaCourie. Actually, foul on Wyatt Smith. It's Smith's first. Team's 4th. Zach Bowden returns to the game for RIT. Anthony Lewis does, spelling Robert Aguilera. Bowden, senior starting point guard, goes towards Burgess, who gets it over to McNamara. Now cutting around is Burgess, trying to establish space back and down. Lewis gets some footing. And an offensive foul called on Burgess. He used a little bit too much body movement, extending the arm, said the referee. Second foul on Union, first on Burgess. A one-man press is McNoble slowing down Anthony Lewis. 8 minutes in, 15-13 Union lead. Mitch Herman passes over to Kevin Drain. Now Anthony Lewis hands it over to Wyatt Smith. Smith tries a contested jumper, gets blocked by McNamara, but it goes right to Kevin Drain, who puts it back in. We're tied at 15 as Burgess over to Bowden. Now to King. King driving, it's blocked. Picks up himself over to McNamara. McNamara to Bowden. Bowden with speed, left side, dribble, laying off the glass, good. 17-15 Union lead. Drain trying to establish footing, gets a pass over to Marcel Davis. Davis with a back to his basket. Finds Herman. Herman looking to drive around Bowden. Gets off the back rim. Rebound, though, goes to Davis. Now driving is Wyatt Smith. Slows down. Dishes back to Davis. Slowing it down as Union holds a 2-point advantage. Mitch Herman hands it over to Wyatt Smith, who's driving on Burgess. But a block by Burgess goes over to Bowden. Zach Bowden dribbling it down. Finds McNamara. McNamara to King. King with a lay-in off the glass, had contact behind him. And a rebound by McNoble, and a foul called. Be the 5th team foul on RIT. Union taken out behind the basket as Brendan Lang will return. Spelling Deshaun Burgess. Burgess 3 points, 2 rebounds in the first 9 minutes of the game.
And for Union College, number 40, Brendan Lang.
As Lang quickly hands off to Boughton after the inbounds as McNoble back to Boughton. Now Lang with positioning against Drain, goes under the basket, over to McNamara. Now King driving. Greg King over to McNoble. McNoble's three-pointer. Good. As Kevin McNoble extends Union's lead to 5, 20-15, but gets a foul before the inbounds pass. Though only the 3rd team foul on Union. I have to issue a public apology for the scratchiness of my voice. I'll blame it on winter. As Anthony Lewis got through a seam, dished over to Drain, but Drain travels. So maybe Lewis going a little bit too fast. The turnover will have Union looking to extend what is currently the largest lead of the game. It's 5, with 10-10 remaining in the first period. Zachary Boughton found a seam. Nice little jump pass over to Lang. Lang got fouled on the way up, so Brendan Lang will shoot 2. He made his first 2 free throws early in this contest. Lang played 16 games last year. It started all 20 of the games here in his sophomore season. 6'8" sophomore. In and out. Against Cobleskill earlier this year. Second game of the year. He entered 17 career contests, only scoring 5 points. He scored 9 in that game, 3 for 4 shooting, 3 for 3 from the line, with 5 rebounds. He also had 9 points against St. Lawrence. He has 3 here. So he's gone 3 for 3 from the free throw stripe. Union's lead is 6. Union and RIT both shooting 40%. As Aguilera is fouled on the way up, it looks like. Foul will be on King, his first. Robert Aguilera will shoot 2, the freshman. 5 double-digit scoring games so far this year. That free throw gives him 7 points, already 3 away from what will be his 6th. Goes 2 for 2 from the line. I stated earlier that Aguilera leads the league in blocks. It's actually fellow big man Justin Schneider who does that. Schneider, we'll get to earlier, has tick under 2. As King driving, passes over to Lang. Lang goes up, almost gets it to go, but does get fouled, and Brendan Lang will get his 3rd set of free throws already in this contest. Union up by 4. That's the 7th team foul on RIT, the 2nd on the blocking big man Justin Schneider. Another free throw for Lang. Union's lead back to 5. Kevin Drain returns to the game, saw a little bit of action earlier, replacing the sophomore Schneider. As Lang now 5 for 6 from the line this game for 5 points. Union's lead 6, 23-17, 9.5 remaining in the first half. Lewis, guarded by McNoble, hands over to Pierre-Louis. Now Pierre-Louis driving, stops, passes down to Drain, and Drain's lay-in bounces around the rim and drops in, cutting Union's advantage to 4. Boughton, guarded by Anthony Lewis, over to King. King sizing up Aguilera. Turns around, passes over to McNoble. McNoble's pass a little too hot for Boughton. Aguilera comes away with it. Dishes over to Pierre-Louis. Lewis gets called for the charge. Has taken the charge. Union's McNoble. Pierre-Louis a little off balance. Looked like it was close to under the cylinder, but charging foul was called. Advantage for Union. It's that foul, the second on Pierre-Louis, so that's the second RIT, actually 3 RIT players have 2 fouls. Pierre-Louis, Schneider, and Smith each have a pair as Lang gets it over to King. Now to McNamara. McNamara's long three-pointer bounces off the rim and drops in. Second tray for Mr. McNamara. Union with their largest lead of the game at 7, 26-19. So long three-pointer off the rim by Herman, brought down by McNamara. McNamara already has 8 points. So he gets the ball back from his fellow senior Boughton. It's over to Lang, now King on the near side, driving on Aguilera. Gets it over to Lang, and a few too many steps by Brendan Lang leads to a travel and a turnover into the hands of RIT with 8:10 remaining in the first half. Anthony Lewis using a pick by Drain. His three-pointer, though, a little too soft off the glass. Saved by Herman, but he stepped on the line. Telling Brendan Lang. Lang, 5 points, 1 rebound, and a steal thus far. Burgess re-entering has 3 points and 2 boards. There's Boughton over to Greg King. Now Weckworth gets it back to King. King with a three-pointer. Hard off the rim, brought down by Burgess. And Deshaun Burgess dribbles it out. Now looks to drive on Aguilar, pulls it up. Over to King. King drives, passing to Burgess. Now King, Union dribble, passing, and then laying by King. Rolls off the rim and brought down by RIT guard Anthony Lewis. Pierre-Louis now driving. Off balance lay-in. Gets it to go in the foul. So 2 by Pierre-Louis. He looks for a three-point play now coming up. Pierre-Louis, 86% free throw shooter. As LaCory returns to the game, that foul on Burgess is second. So he'll be replaced by LaCory. Corey played 3 minutes earlier in this half. 7:11 remaining till halftime. Pierre-Louis gets the three-point play. And Union calls a timeout. Dutchman lead, 26-22. 7:11 to go till halftime. Take a quick break and return on UnionAthletics.tv. Kevin Weckworth with the ball. Quick pass over to McNamara. McNamara a little too hard of a dish to Boughton. It goes out of bounds. 6:58 on the clock. Union leading by 4, 26-22. Their largest lead is 7. Largest lead for RIT was 3, 13-10. Aguilera backing down McNamara, bobbles the ball. It's out top to Pierre-Louis. Pierre-Louis guarded by LaCory. Now a long three-point attempt is good. Pierre-Louis took advantage of LaCory backing off a little bit, anticipating the pass. Got the 3 to go and cut Union's lead to 1. Boughton driving with a right hand from the left side. Tries to force it up. And Pierre-Louis with the board. As RIT looking to take the lead, but a steal by LaCory. Falls over, slips the ball to Weckworth, who dishes over to McNamara. McNamara with a three-pointer, in and out. LaCory battling for the rebound. Taken away from him was Mitch Herman. McNamara couldn't quite get the open 3 to go. Now a little bit slower, RIT with a chance to take lead for the first time since 14:42 to go in this half. There's now just over 5:50 remaining. The pump fake move, Anthony Lewis can't quite get a jumper. Rebound by McNamara. Weckworth, pull up three, in and out. A little bit of a ping pong rebound brought down by Pierre-Louis. Lewis now hands over to Herman. Herman with a size advantage on Boughton. And he uses that for the go-ahead teardropper, giving RIT a 27-26 lead. Weckworth sizing it up, reading a pick from Greg King. Now over to King. King driving from the left side, draws the foul. It'll be the 9th team foul on RIT, but King will shoot two. The foul on Drain. Kevin Drain's first foul. Kevin McNoble looking to sub in for Union. Charles O'Kahey, Will Atkinson, and Wyatt Smith about to sub in for RIT as King's first shot off the front rim. King a 75% free throw shooter. Go 1 for 2. Union down by 1. Kevin McNoble replacing Kevin Weckworth. Weckworth has scored 5 points thus far. King looking to tie it up. And he does. Rattling in. We're even at 27 with 5:08 to go. Will Atkinson. It's tipped away by McNamara. Seven players have scored thus far for Union, led by McNamara's 8. Lang and Weckworth have 5. Leading scorers for RIT in the early going. Pierre-Louis already has 10. Aguilera has 8. And Herman has 5. The freshman Atkinson dishes to Pierre-Louis. His pull-up jumper is good. Pierre-Louis now 12 points on 4 for 6 shooting. He is 3 for 3 from the free throw line. McNoble in the corner, guarded by Atkinson, gets it to McNamara. Dishes back to McNoble. McNoble looking to drive with a pass a little bit awry. Thought King was cutting. Turnover. We'll give the ball back to the Tigers as entering the game for the first time, Mike Pileshi, also returning as Kevin Weckworth. Pileshi, sophomore from Glenville. It's Pierre-Louis, guarded by McNoble. Dishes over to Atkinson. With Weckworth, now guarding Herman. Okay, he freshly into the game. Pass over to Pierre-Louis. Off balance, 3 short. But lands in the hands of Charles O'Kahey. Stripped, coming away with his McNoble. Kevin McNoble trying to go coast to coast. Draws the foul, called on the floor. But it's in the double bonus, so he'll shoot 2 anyway. So strong defensive play by McNoble, then the speed drew the foul on the other end. So foul on Atkinson, his first foul. McNoble, sophomore from Rockville, New York. 58% free throw shooter, but a 57% three-point shooter. So maybe it's when he's contested, he's at his strongest. As he brings Union within 1, 29-28 RIT lead. Anthony Lewis returns to the game, replacing Mitch Herman. McNoble looks to bring this one even with just over 4 minutes to go till halftime. So the sophomore goes 2 for 2. We're even at 29. Pierre-Louis, who has played most of this half with 2 fouls, still in the game for RIT, as O'Kahey looking to drive on Pileshi. Goes too strong. Pileshi bobbles the rebound, and coming away with it is Anthony Lewis. Neither LaCorey or Pileshi could get it. As RIT should have gotten a new shot clock. They never did. as the RIT coaches are arguing that the shot should have been restarted. I guess it did not. It's that advantageous 50-50 play will go by the way of Union as Bowden looking to give Union a lead, dishes over to LaCory. LaCory bluffs the pass, but kisses it off the glass instead as Matt LaCory gets on the board, puts Union on front, 31-29. As Weckworth fouls Pierre-Louis driving, but smart play by LaCory blocking Pierre-Louis's shot after the foul, making sure that Pierre-Louis won't be shooting an and one instead. But Pierre-Louis, an 86% free throw shooter, could tie this game with a pair here. Providence, by way of the Berkshire School in Connecticut, makes the first shot, returning for Union, Wade McNamara. So with 3:09 to go till halftime, Pierre-Louis' second shot is good. We're even at 31. Bowden guarded by Lewis, hands it to McNamara. Wade McNamara looking to drive. Gets a shot in traffic, a little too soft. Hustling for the rebound was Bowden, but he hits it out of bounds. 2:55 to go till break, and we're even again, 31-31. No lead has been bigger than 5 for either team. Lewis hands it to Wyatt Smith. Smith dishes to Herman. Herman, with a size advantage again on Bowden, hands it over to Pierre-Louis. Now a long three-pointer by Smith is good. It's Wyatt Smith now has RIT tied for their largest lead of the contest. It's 3, 34-31 with 2.5 till halftime. Bowden dishes over to Weckworth. Weckworth bluffs a 3, takes a dribble, another pump fake, over to McNamara. McNamara pull-up jumper off the back rim and taken down by Anthony Lewis. 2:10 to go till break. It's Herman. Dishes over to Anthony Lewis. Lewis back to Herman. Herman in traffic. Gets called for the charge. Another Matt LaCory charge taken as LaCory, another big defensive play from the bench for Union. As Greg King returns for the Dutchman. Replacing McNoble. Marcel Davis back in for RIT for Mitch Herman. 2:05 till halftime. Union will shoot the double bonus on any non-charging foul. Only committed 6 fouls of their own. It's McNamara to King. King up top, gets it to Bowden. Bowden looking to drive, hands it to LaCory, who bluffs a 3, dribbles, dishes back to King. King up top to LaCory, whose long 3 gets off the front rim and rebounded by Anthony Lewis. 1:40 to go. Passed down low to Aguilera, who's put back no good after the first one off the front rim. Battle underneath the basket as the ball goes back out to Pierre-Louis. Looking to drive, and then the lay-in off the pass from Pierre-Louis goes to Kevin Drain. 36-31, RIT lead with 1:20 to go till halftime. Wade McNamara to King. King with a 3. Halfway in, but put back by McNamara. And a timeout by RIT. Following McNamara's putback, he's now in double figures. The Tigers holding a 3-point. So Anthony Lewis taking the ball up for the Tigers. Skips it up top to Pierre-Louis. Now back to Lewis. Pierre-Louis leading the way in scoring for RIT is Will Atkinson up top over to Kevin Drain. Now Pierre-Louis near the three-point line enters. Now Atkinson with a long 3. Brought down by LaCory, who pushes it up to Weckworth. Weckworth back to LaCory, who has Kevin Weckworth. Now McNamara to LaCory, and the three-pointer brought down by Drain. 33 seconds, and now a 3-point separation between shot clock and game clock, but RIT coach Bob McBean yells to his team to go for one final shot. looking to shoot close to 3 seconds remaining till halftime, trying to limit Union's chances of a final bucket. Pierre-Louis gets the dribble handoff, gets over to Atkinson. Now with 5 seconds in the shot clock, Lewis is driving, gets the lay-in to go. 5 seconds remaining, Boughton pushing it up for Union. The ball is stripped, he forces it up, almost gets it to go, but hits off the rim and drops. As RIT will head to the locker room with a 5-point lead over Union, 38-33. Union shooting only. The Dutchman did go the line twice as many times as RIT. Went 11 for 14 from the stripe, 7 for 7 for the Tigers as King inbounds it to start the second half to Boughton. Boughton back to King. It's Burgess, who was held to only 10 minutes due to foul trouble. He had 2 personal fouls in the first half. Burgess gets the ball back from Boughton. Now back over to the senior. Now fellow senior McNamara in the three-pointer for Burgess. Money. As Deshaun Burgess starts off the second half with a tray from the right corner. As Union within 2, 38-36. First three-pointer of the game for Burgess. Anthony Lewis finds Herman, now handing over to Aguilera. Aguilera scored the first 6 points of the half, of the first half for RIT, only scored 4 more after that. Now Burgess racing up the end. And a blocking foul on Pierre-Louis. That's big on several levels. Not only does it give Union's Burgess a chance to tie by making a pair of free throws, but that gives Troy Pierre-Louis 3 fouls with 19 minutes and 5 seconds to go in regulation. It's the second time we've seen a close block charge go by the way of Union. This one called a block earlier in the half. LaCory took a charge that could have gone either way. As Burgess makes the free throw. Bringing Union within a single score. So now ties it up. Deshaun Burgess scores 5 points in the first 55 seconds of the second half to tie this game at 38. Pierre-Louis to Mitch Herman. Looking to check in for RIT is Wyatt Smith. I assume for Troy Pierre-Louis. He does have those 3 fouls. He tries a backdoor pass to Aguilera, and good job by Greg King hitting off Aguilera out of bounds, and Union will get possession back with Smith returning to the game for Pierre-Louis. Wyatt Smith off the bench in the first half had 3 points in 8 minutes. Yeah, that one on a three-pointer. Boughton dribbling it up, be guarded by Wyatt Smith. Gives it over to the flashing King, down low to Burgess. Burgess back to King. King with a three-point shot. Soft off the rim and brought down by Justin Schneider. Schneider also has 2 fouls. It's Aguilera taking it down, gets past King. And under the basket, reverse lay-in gives the lead back to RIT. 40-38, 18-15 on the clock. Burgess trying to create room off the dribble. Gets towards the block, hands it over to Lang. Lang, short-range jumper. Almost brought down by King, but he saves it right into the hands of RIT's Herman. Mitch Herman passes over to Lewis. Lewis's three-pointer brought down by Union's Boughton. Zachary Boughton driving, tries to go coast to coast. Laying a little bit too strong. Another rebound by the senior captain for RIT, Herman. Herman skid pass over to Wyatt Smith, whose three-pointer off the rim, but rebounded by Aguilera as there's a little bit of a collision for Union under the basket. 40-38 RIT, 17:35 to go in the second half. Aguilera to Schneider, who was saddled with 2 fouls in the first 20 minutes. Schneider gives over to Lewis. Lewis's off-bounds flat foot lay-in brought down by Schneider, who was fouled on the way up. Justin Schneider held scoreless in the first half. No field goal attempts either. Will go to the line for the first time. He's a 75% free throw shooter this year. In the last game against St. Lawrence, he came off the bench. That was the only second time this year he did not start. Today he was in the lineup as he gets his first point of the game, 41-38. The sophomore from Aurora, New York, leads the Liberty League with a tick under 2 blocks per game, 3.2 swats per game in conference play. He gets them both from the free throw line here. 42-38. RIT. Union scored the first 5 points to tie it at 38 here in this half. But 4 straight by the Tigers have them back ahead. It's King gets the handoff from Bowden, gives it back to Union's point guard. Zach Bowden in the corner. Finds King again. Greg King looking to drive, spins past Aguilar and draws the foul. As Greg King today, 1 for 2 from the line. Get another chance. The junior starting in its 20th contest from Ridgefield, New Jersey. Gets the first one to go. That was the 3rd foul on Schneider, so Schneider will head back to the bench. 3 fouls, only 8 minutes. As King gets them both, brings Union back within a pair. 17 minutes to go. 42-40. Tuesday night Liberty League basketball in Schenectady. As Kevin Drain to Aguilera, now driving Herman. He pulls back, steps back, and his shot brought down by Burgess. Deshaun Burgess racing up court. Cuts towards the lane, dishes over to McNamara. His long 3-pointer is good. Kevin McNamara, if there was a range past NBA range, that would certainly be it. As he gives Union their first lead of the half with a 3-pointer on the dish from Burgess. McNamara, 3 3-pointers already today. Union leads 43-42. Anthony Lewis looking to drive. Fouled, I believe, by McNamara. Kevin Weckworth looking to check into the game for Union. Foul on McNamara, his first. Union's 2nd of the half. Anthony Lewis will shoot a pair. He has yet to shoot a free throw today. Makes the first one to tie it up at 43. As Weckworth, who started the game, began the second half on the bench, as McNamara was back in the lineup to start the second 20 minutes. Weckworth enters the game for Lang. Weckworth in the first half, 5 points on 2 for 5 from the field. It's the second free throw by Lewis, gives RIT the lead back, 44-43 Tigers. Bowden taking on Pierre-Louis, who's back in the game with 3 fouls. Bowden gives it to Burgess. Burgess covered by Anthony Lewis as Deshaun Burgess looks to drive in the paint, pulls up and gets that one to roll off the front rim as Deshaun Burgess now has 7 points in the first 4.5 minutes of the second half. Overall, he has 10. Drain with the back to the basket, gives it to Anthony Lewis. Lewis looking to drive, but stripped by King. King going 2-on-2. He has Weckworth. Dishes to Weckworth. Weckworth with a pass to Bowden. Bowden's 3-pointer. Good! Great fast break transition offense by Union. As the dish to Deshaun Burgess, and Burgess's 3 has Union up by 4. 15:07 to go, and a desperation timeout by RIT as Union has outscored King and Bowden to start. Troy Pierre-Louis with 3 fouls inbounds the ball to Robert Aguilera. Pierre-Louis now in the far corner, looking to drive on Weckworth. Dishes down low to Drain. Kevin Drain backing down King. Gets the lay-in to go. 48-46 Union lead. Drain now has 6 in 12 minutes off the bench. As McNamara on the handoff, his 3-pointer good. Union red hot from behind the line here in the second half as Wade McNamara puts Union up by 5, 51-46. There's now Aguilera blocked by McNamara, and Union draws the foul on Drain. So a behind the play block by McNamara after a long three-pointer. On the offensive end, leads to a foul by RIT. The foul on Drain, his second. Is making his first appearance in the game for Union. Garrett Johnson, spelling Greg King. Johnson, appearing for the 9th time this year, played in the season opener, then missed due to injury the next 7. Overall this year, 8 points, total in 8 games. There's Burgess, jumper, in and out, brought down by Wyatt Smith. Now Pierre-Louis driving, he gets that one to go. Pierre-Louis now with 16 points. As McNamara taking the ball up, entering the lane. Finds Garrett Johnson. Johnson driving. But he barrels into Drain, and Kevin Drain draws the foul. First on Johnson, third on Union. Coming back in for the Tigers, Mitch Herman. And also entering Will Atkinson. Anthony Lewis and Wyatt Smith going to the bench for RIT. As Union pressing here. Racing past the press, Mitch Herman. Guarded by Boughton. Now Pierre-Louis hands it back to Herman. And Atkinson has it up top. Now Aguilera guarded by McNamara, helped out by Garrett Johnson. Johnson giving him a few inches to Aguilera, hands it off to Pierre-Louis. Pierre-Louis pull up from the elbow, good, as Pierre-Louis has made 6 of 9 shots. He has a game high 19. As Burgess almost gets that one to go off the glass, and almost swipes it from Drain. Now with a chance to take the lead, Atkinson steps on the sideline. As Kevin McNoble returns to the game, spelling Zachary Boughton. McNoble had 5 points in the first half. Hands it to McNamara. McNamara driving Aguilera. He's blocked, but a foul. As McNamara went up strong, and Aguilera almost came away with the swat. But McNamara, who today from the line 2 for 2, will shoot a pair here with Union up by 1. McNamara 5 for 9 from the field, 4 for 6 from the three-point line. He has 16 points to go along with 5 rebounds. The senior gets the first one to go. $12:56 to go in the second half, and Union now up by 3. McNamara now with 18 points. $53-50 as Pierre-Louis over to Will Atkinson. Now it's Mitch Herman as Aguilera driving. There's a move a little too soft, and McNamara outraces Aguilera to the rebound. As Wade McNamara over to Johnson, a little too strong. Johnson couldn't quite get the three-point shot he wanted, but Union gets it back out. Burgess now slowing it down, trying to use his pick from Johnson. Johnson tries a second hand. Now Garrett Johnson for 3, got it! Garrett Johnson with his second three-pointer of the year, only 1 for 5 from behind the line entering the game. Now has Union with their second largest lead. It's 56-50. Largest lead of the game was 7. Came early in the first half. Now with 12 minutes to go, Pierre-Louis trying to get more offense. Dishes over to Drain. Drain goes beyond, under the basket and up top for 2. Union lead now 4. As Johnson gets it back to Burgess. Burgess sizing it up, looking to drive, draws the foul. It's the 5th team foul on RIT. And the 4th foul. Actually, no, the foul called on Herman. Not Pierre-Louis. Pierre-Louis still with 3, but that is the 3rd foul on Herman, entering the game for RIT, re-entering it. Marcel Davis, who played 5 minutes in the first half. It's another three-pointer by Johnson off the rim, but a rebound by the league's leading rebounder, Wade McNamara, keeps this one alive for Union. Weckworth to McNamara, to Weckworth, to Burgess, to McNoble, off the top of the backboard. And a foul on the floor called on RIT. We'll keep this one alive for Union. On the rebound, they're calling it on Marcel Davis. At first, I thought they were calling it out of bounds, but it didn't hit the back of the backboard, so Union gets a chance on another RIT foul. Next foul for Union, though, shoot 1-1, as Johnson tries to hand it to McNoble, swiped by Herman, and now pushing up Pierre-Louis. Lewis trying to get past Burgess. Now hands it over to Anthony Lewis. Marcel Davis to Herman, guarded by McNoble. Now Drain has it. Kevin Drain flips it to Pierre-Louis, whose three-pointer is brought down by Weckworth. 11 minutes to go. Johnson almost shoots a three. Now McNoble with one. That one's brought down by Herman. A little bit of a back and forth empty possession as Pierre-Louis near the sideline on the far side gives it over to Marcel Davis, with Brendan Lang ready to check back in for Union. As the backdoor cut by Herman gives it back to Pierre-Louis. Turns down a three-pointer, tries to go to the hole. He gets that one to go. 2 more points for Troy Pierre-Louis. Union's lead back down to 2, 56-54 with 10:20 to go. McNamara backdoor to McNoble. McNoble, strong contact, no foul. Tries to go back up and a jump ball called, and that one will give possession to the Tigers. As Garrett Johnson and McNoble will go to the bench, replaced by Bowden and Lang. (56-54), halfway through the second half, as Troy Pierre-Louis shooting for three. That one brought down by Weckworth, who slows it down, gets it over to Bowden. Now Burgess, his three-point shot is good. Deshaun Burgess with his fourth three-pointer, third of this half, and RIT calling another timeout. Burgess now with 16 points, 13 in the last 10.5 minutes, as we'll take a quick break. Union leading by 5, 59. RIT inbounding it down by 5 with just under 9.5 minutes remaining in regulation. Pierre-Louis, who has tied his career high with 20 points already today, hands over to Anthony Lewis. The jumper by Lewis is good, 59-56 in favor of Union. Bowden bluffs a drive back up to the perimeter with 15 on the shot clock. Now King to Lang. Lang had 5 first-half points, all on free throws, and gets his first field goal of the game with that lay-in from the left side. Lang with 7, 2 off his career high. That one puts Union back up by 5. 61-56 Dutchman. Marcel Davis over to Charles. Okay, now this long three-pointer by Herman off the front rim. Rebounded, lunged for, and caught by Bowden. There's Burgess to King. King's three-pointer rolled off the rim, brought down by Herman, and Pierre-Louis now driving, trying to go up strong, and that one off the rim and brought down by King, as Pierre-Louis tried a little bit too hard to get to his strong side. And that paid off for the Dutchman, as Burgess, with his team up by 5, a field goal would tie their largest lead. A three-pointer would pass that one. 61-56, under 8 to go. Deshaun Burgess with a triple threat now, dribbles it back. And the long three-pointer, still rebounded by King. Big offensive board by Union. As Burgess and Union gets another chance here. As Deshaun using a lane pick, trying to drive, dishes it back to King. King, pull-up jumper off the rim, and a foul called by Charles O'Kay. He is like he may have tripped Brendan Lang.
Tigers foul number 55, Charles O'Kay.
Lang will shoot 1 and 1.
Took the in for RIT number 30, Robert Aguilera, and number 33, Justin Schneider. They replace O'Kay.
Lang in the first half, 5 for 6 from the line.
Marcel Davis. Shooting 1 and 1 for Union, number
Overall this year,
Brendan Lang.
22 for 26. So he'll get another one, making the front end. Union leading 62-56. Lang one free throw away from tying his career high. And he does just that. Union now tying their largest lead. It's 7 with 7.5 to go. 63-56 Dutchman. Now, down low to Schneider. Back in the game with 3 fouls. He gives it over to Mitch Herman. Herman draws the foul on McNamara. It's only the 4th team foul on Union. And only the 2nd on McNamara. It's only the 2nd Dutchman to have 2 fouls. Him and Burgess both have 2. Burgess was held to 10 minutes in the first half due to those 2 fouls, but 2 fouls not as threatening with 7:15 to go as they are in the first 20 minutes. Anthony Lewis guarded by Boughton. As Lewis with a couple nice dribble moves gets it over to Pierre-Louis, and that one's swatted away by Lang. Picked up though, and Pierre-Louis with a chance at a 3 gets his own rebound. Now driving towards the lane. That one gets up too strong, but he is fouled. So couple nice defensive plays by Union negated by RIT offensive rebounds.
Shooting 2 for the Tigers, number 15, Pierre.
Now Pierre-Louis will shoot 2. With a chance to give him a career high, and he does. 21 points now for the junior from Providence. 63-57. 6:57 in regulation. Now 63-58. Burgess guarded by Lewis. King back to Lang. Now Burgess down low with a size advantage, goes under the basket, flips it over and draws the foul. As Burgess went strong, may have not had a play if he didn't draw the contact.
Shooting 2 for Union.
It's the 8th team foul on RIT. Burgess will shoot 2 regardless. First free throw, nothing but net. So he gets them both, giving him 18. 2 points away from what would be his 11th 20-point game of the season. He had 13 last year. Union up by 7. Burgess guarding Pierre-Louis. Now Anthony Lewis got open on the cut. Couldn't get the three-pointer go, and another rebound by McNamara. Burgess backing down. Turnaround jumper, rebound by Aguilera. Almost swiped away by Lang as Aguilera now with speed over to Pierre-Louis. Shuffles his feet. May have gotten away with traveling. And now a three-pointer by Herman. No good. Fought for, brought down by Herman as Pierre-Louis now has it up top. Just under 6 minutes to go. Union still holding a 7-point advantage. They were down 5 at halftime, so they've outscored the opposition 12 in this frame. But a three-pointer by Pierre-Louis cut that to 4, 65-61. Burgess up top, trying to get around Lewis, dishes over to Bowden. Bowden driving. That one's blocked by the league's block leader, Schneider. Now Pierre-Louis with a three from the corner, and that one's good. Back-to-back three-pointers has turned a 7-point Union lead to 1 in the span of 2 possessions. As Pierre-Louis now has 28. Looking to drive as McNamara draws contact. He'll shoot 1 and 1 on the foul on Herman.
RIT foul number 20. Mitch Herman, his 4th.
Mitch Herman's 4th foul.
Shooting 2 for Union, shooting 1 and 1 for Union.
Herman, the team's captain. Only 5 points, but does lead the game with 9 rebounds.
He replaces Herman.
Weckworth returns for Union, replacing Lang. McNamara shooting the front end of a 1-on-1. Gets that one. 5 for 5 from the line, has 19 points.
For Union, number 13, Kevin Weckworth. He replaces Joel Lang, Brendan Lang.
Second one gives him 20 as Weckworth with another 20-point game. Or not Weckworth, Wade McNamara, excuse me. Union's lead back to 3, now under 5 minutes to go. Aguilera guarded by McNamara. It's a tall 6'7" forward. Gives it over to Wyatt Smith. Smith tried to drive on Burgess. He's blocked, and Burgess comes down with it. Great defensive play by Deshaun Burgess. Now driving. Dishes over to Weckworth. Weckworth turns out a 3. Pull-up jumper off the rim, but he gets his own rebound. Great heads-up play by Weckworth, not abandoning it after the miss. As Burgess looking to drive, dishes over to McNamara, skip over to Bowden. Bowden's shot. Tapped down and brought down by RIT. As Lewis now driving. Tries to find Aguilera. He has him. Aguilera gets the lay-in to go. And RIT back within 1. 67-66 Union lead. 4:08 remaining. King to Bowden. Bowden pulls it back. Now King driving. King to Bowden. His three-pointer off the rim, brought down by McNamara. Now over to Weckworth. Weckworth, though, gets called for traveling. So RIT has a chance to take the lead. They'll have possession, leading 67, or Union leading 67-66. Pierre-Louis, guarded by Weckworth. Gets in Aguilera, who's valued up by McNamara. Now Wyatt Smith dishes over to Pierre-Louis. Pierre-Louis jacks up a 3. That one's brought down by Smith, who lands out of bounds. Contact play between him and Weckworth. Looked like just 2 bodies into each other. And Wyatt Smith brought down the rebound out of bounds. As Kevin Weckworth thought for a chance he'd be shooting 2 shots on the double bonus, but instead just out of bounds, and Union has possession with 3:15 to go and them up 67-66. Burgess guarded by Lewis with a pick by McNamara, now guarded by Wyatt Smith. Pull-up jumper, in and out, brought down by King. King goes up, lay-in doesn't go, fighting for the rebound, and it's in possession of Union. King has had a strong game on the offensive boards. That was his 4th. Hasn't gotten a field goal yet, but sometimes the roll's not going your way. Still doing all he can offensively. Gets the lay-in there. What a way to get your first. What a way to get your first field goal, and tell me to stop talking about his offer before that, as he's given Union a 3-point lead, 69-66, with 2:45 on the clock. Pierre-Louis over to Smith. Smith guarded by Bowden. Now it's Schneider with Anthony Lewis now in control. From the free throw line, dishes over to Smith. Smith bluffs the 3, now driving. Tries to get backdoor to Aguilera. It's picked off by McNamara. Hit out of bounds, and possession goes to the Dutchman. Great defensive play by McNamara, even though he didn't get full possession of the ball. Made sure to force RIT to tip it out of bounds. Now Union with a chance to get back up by 2 possessions. They're leading by 3 with 2:20 to go. McNamara into the paint. Turnaround jumper off the rim. Battled for it. And looks like Wade McNamara may have committed the foul. Foul on McNamara. Only Union 6th. So no shots yet. That's McNamara's 3rd, but with 2:13 remaining, that's not that threatening. But it is a 1-possession game. 3-point Union lead. Anthony Lewis. Looks like he's guarded by Weckworth, with Schneider looking to set a screen. He does. Weckworth gets through it. Now Pierre-Louis almost tipped away in the pass by McNoble. Using the pick from Aguilera. He's driving. The block, but a foul, and that one will lead to a 3-point play opportunity by Pierre-Louis. He draws the foul, and the free throw will tie it. Fouls on King, his 2nd. Pierre-Louis 7 for 7 from the line. He now has 30 points, 10 more in this career entering today. Make that 31 and we're tied. 1:56 to go. Next foul on RIT. That's not a charge. Union will shoot 2. There's Burgess with some space, pulls up from the free throw line and gets it to go off the glass. Not sure he was aiming for that, but that doesn't matter, because those 2-pointers give Union the lead back. 71-69 with 97 seconds remaining. The time RIT is 14 for 14. They have yet to miss. Union 88.5%. They're 23 for 26. RIT will inbound it, down by 2 with 1:37 on the clock. Union looking to win their 3rd straight, advance to 8-4 in conference. Anthony Lewis, guarded by Weckworth. Now Aguilera down low to Herman. Herman tried to find Pierre-Louis, but he's guarded perfectly by McNoble and has to settle for Anthony Lewis, who's driving, gets the shot up, blocked, nothing called, and McNamara comes down with it. Union with the ball, 1:10 to go. And King drives, bobbles it, slows it down, gets it to Burgess. And with that rebound, Wade McNamara gets yet another double-double. 20 points, 10 boards for the senior from Connecticut. As Burgess with a 3-pointer off the rim, brought down by Aguilera. Not sure if that's what Union wanted, as Wade McNamara is on the ground. McNamara may have come down awkwardly on the rebound attempt. Not what sure anyone Union wants to see. McNamara. Union will have to play without him for at least the time being. Entering for him is Matt LaCourie, who has had a great defensive game so far. LaCourie, 2 points, 1 rebound, but taking 2 charges as Aguilera will inbound the ball for RIT. 26 on the shot clock, 46.4 in the game. Anthony Lewis has it, guarded by McNoble. Lewis to Pierre-Louis. Now looking to drive is Herman. Herman hands it to Lewis as RIT playing dribble handoff around the perimeters. Pierre-Louis dishes over to Herman, and Herman trips, but he is fouled by Burgess. Foul called on Deshaun Burgess. So shooting 1 will be Mitch Herman. Herman, an 83% free throw shooter on the season. He has yet to attempt a free throw today. But RIT is 14 for 14. So if their 100% free throw percentage holds true, they will tie this game. If not, Union better try to get a defensive rebound. Herman, a senior from Webster, New York. Shooting with 27.5 to go. First one in and out and brought down by LaCourie. LaCourie, though, loses it taken by Herman. Shot clock's off. 21 seconds remaining. Pierre-Louis looking to drive. Forces up a shot. It doesn't go. Foul called on Zach Bowden. Looked like Pierre-Louis just slipped. RIT, though, gets a second chance as McCory couldn't quite keep the rebound to himself. And Pierre-Louis, who is 8 for 8 from the line, has the chance to tie the game. He'll shoot 2. Makes the first one, so 71-70. 18.3 seconds remaining. If this one goes in, likely see Union call a timeout and prepare for a final shot situation. Shot to tie the game from Pierre-Louis, who has 32 points. In and out and brought down by King. King is fouled by Mitch Herman. So Troy Pierre-Louis, who had scored 32 points, has made his first 9 free throws. Misses one that would have tied it with 18 seconds left. King gets the rebound. He is fouled. He'll shoot 2. King on the season, 75% from the line. And in this game, Greg King, 3 for 4. That foul on Mitch Herman, his 5th. So RIT's senior captain will head to the bench. There was no timeout on the floor. Just team has a chance to recollect themselves on a player's 5th foul. So King will shoot 2. So RIT, 16.5 seconds on the clock. King, too soft on the front one, so big one here to make sure Union up by at least a 2-pointer, 71-70. RIT's women's team making noise on the far side bleachers. It's King. In and out, the second one brought down by Schneider. RIT with 10 seconds to go, looking like they're going for the final shot. Aguilera misses the dribble handoff, gets it to Troy Pierre-Louis. 5 seconds to go. Pierre-Louis, and the shot by Smith, no good, and the rebound by Licori, and Union holds on. 71.